Hello everyone, Ladislas, Maurice of The Wandering Investor. Today we'll be discussing some of the recent immigration changes in Argentina together with my immigration lawyer Martin, because there's a lot of speculation online and there's a lot of nonsense being told and a lot of people talking with authority, saying they're certain that certain things are going to happen, but in reality no one really knows. So Martin, let's set the record straight here.
Okay, thanks for having me, Ladislas. And yes, it's true. Clients from all over the world are super concerned because internet is full of misconceptions, mistakes. People go and ask AI. So let's go straight to the point. What has changed? What has not changed? In general, everything has become more strict. That's the truth. No more permanent tourists. There is a common misconception. It used to be this way. Argentina used to be very lax. But people coming to Argentina and constantly renewing the tourist visa, doing visa runs to Uruguay or Brazil, have now specific provisions against this in the new immigration law. The decree has stated very strict, dangerous sanctions, including deportation and a minimum of 5 years of a re-entry ban. So if you were thinking of coming to Argentina and not becoming legal straight away, that's a bad choice. There's also a new change. We used to have direct permanent residency for those who married an Argentine citizen or those who have a child, an Argentinian child. Now, it's not a permanent residency, but a temporary residency that you get. In practice, it's not a big deal, but you just have to go and apply for a permanent residency when the time comes. Permanent residency has also becoming a little stricter too.
Before, essentially, you could have a child and then build a bit of substance in Argentina and then apply for citizenship like a year later or so, or a few months later. Can you still do this?
This is a common misconception. Like citizenship versus residency, they are not the same. It's not clear if with a child you cannot still apply for citizenship. The new decree has repealed some articles of the old citizenship law, but has left with full force the regulation decree of the citizenship law, which has the child exception. So it's still legally valid. They intended to finish this practice, but technically it's valid. We'll need to see what happens with the current cases.
Okay, so essentially people who want to have a kid and they want to do some birth tourism, Argentina right now is a bit of a risky proposition because there's a bit of uncertainty. Is this the message?
That's absolutely the message, yes.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Thank you.
There's also a very interesting kind of non-reasonable change, if you want to say, criminal records. If you have any kind of conviction, any kind of record, even if it's a fine, even if it's community service or 3 days of prison time, you are no longer eligible for residence in Argentina. Does it make sense? Definitely no. There is a rule in Argentina that criminal records expire after 10 years, but some countries leave it staying, they force you to have that for the rest of your life, and some records cannot be expunged. We don't know what the immigration department is going to do with records that are more than 10 years old, if they are really going to enforce this provision, by the book.
There's a little bit of a contradiction between a libertarian system and then saying that someone that was jailed by another government for something, very small or just had a fine just can't enter the country anymore. And there's a bit of a tension between practice and theory, I find. Okay, so there's the criminal record thing. Any other changes?
No more relevant changes, I think. There is a very interesting change, very dangerous. They changed one word in Article 61 of the immigration law. Before, when they find you as an illegal alien or they find you, lying at the border, they had the obligation, the immigration department had the obligation to give you a certain reasonable time to become legal. They used to have the obligation. Now it's at their discretion. They changed shall or may. Okay. That changes everything. They enabled direct red cards, like in football. They enabled direct deportations at the border, which is going to bring many cases, and it's definitely going to raise concern about all that are uncertain of their future or they haven't made the right decision yet.
Okay. And there's a lot of things going online with people saying that now to apply for citizenship in Argentina, you need to stay 2 years in a row in Argentina without leaving the country for even 1 day. So as a resident, is this really the case or is it ambiguous? Do we really know where we stand here?
It is the case. The text of the decree is extremely clear. It's 2 years without exit. Is this constitutional? I think not. I know for a fact that many of my immigration lawyer colleagues and constitutional lawyer colleagues think it's not. legal nor constitutional. Even if some law is out there, it can be challenged, and this one will probably be challenged. Challenging one small provision of the decree doesn't make it all fall. So like more strict conditions for residency may prevail, while this particular provision of staying put in Argentina for 2 years may probably be disregarded at some level. We don't know if we're going to need a full constitutional challenge to this, or if the immigration department will just realize this was probably a strategic mistake and enforcement will be, well, lighter than expected. I think this will probably be the case. If you left the country for holidays, it's hard to think that they're going to enforce this strictly.
And I think what you raise is interesting, because now you're talking about the immigration department making the decision. Before, it was judges that were making naturalization decisions, correct?
Absolutely. That's another one of the changes regarding citizenship. I will have one big change to discuss also. But it used to be the courts that handled citizenship, federal courts, and now we're going to see the immigration department handling cases. At the moment, I think it's important. At the moment, the immigration department is not taking cases. They say they need more time, more personnel, offices, whatever. We expect that it may take a couple of months for them to be fully functional regarding this aspect and have more information.
Okay. Any other changes?
Yes. Argentina has launched a CBI program, Citizenship by Investment program. I think this is worth noting. There is so much mistaken information. There's so much speculation, rumors online. But let's get the record straight. As you said before, there is an agency for the Citizenship by Investment program, and we are waiting for the regulation. There's no number yet. The news have said 500,000, but it's still not official. And we'll have to wait and follow the wandering investor, of course, for the proper information. So when it comes and when we know the full requirements, we can act on it.
Thank you, Martin, for the clarification, because there are already all these people that are just running with assumptions and saying, this is what the program will be, etc. No one really knows. In the meantime, they're getting views, but the reality is no one knows. So people should just, sit on the sidelines, be patient, and wait for the official regulations.
That is true. And I think that the main thing here is that the core ground for residency haven't changed. You can still get residency by getting married or having a child, by using your pension or your passive income, or by some activity like working or studying. These core components haven't changed. The procedures stay the same. The immigration department will still take care of this. And who knows, we may even get with all this citizenship by investment revolution, we may even get residency by investment, maybe buying property. We don't know. It is expected. It is in the agenda, but the main core components haven't changed. So if you are thinking of being a part of history, you're going to Argentina, living, here in the city and experiencing it, get in touch. I think get in touch, explore the best option for you. Just do not become illegal. The stakes have gone crazy higher, and probably there's something to do to get a solid status.
Cool, fantastic. So if you want to find out the different ways to obtain residency in Argentina, there's a link below with all of the information. And then you can use this link as well to get in touch directly with Martin, who is based in Buenos Aires, and his core specialty is immigration to Argentina. So Martin, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure to download my free ebook, 12 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing in International Real Estate, which you can find on my website, linked below. And feel free to follow me on Instagram @TheWandering Investor. I look forward to hearing from you.